All right, there's a statute of limitations. Kind of like, well, for example, police officers, after a year, they're allowed to destroy their body camera evidence. If they can keep you incarcerated for a full year or longer by false charges, by lying to mental health professionals, whatever means it takes, they can prevent you from having access to the body cameras, and you have to rely on public pretenders to get those body cameras. They're not even going to fucking try. Here in Oregon, at least they had to make that effort. They didn't make that effort in any other state. So what do mandatory reporters do? Well, they ignore the mandatory reporter laws, for starters. They'll lie to your face, and you need to know what those lies are. Like when they try to claim the person has moved on, that doesn't detract from the fact that they committed a criminal act against either a child, a disabled person, or an elderly person. Yeah. So one of the things they do is they say, oh, well, you should have called 911. What happens if I did? Are you just going to assume that I didn't call 911? I mean, take a look at the situation. I was arrested for improper use of 911, and what was I calling 911 about? Why did the police send me around in circles? They knew that I was disabled, so did these other places. Instead of assisting a disabled person who is being harmed, being physically assaulted, and having his life and his family's lives threatened, being forced to move again and again, you'd think maybe they'd do their jobs. One thing they do is they try to pretend that you didn't turn it in right away. You don't have to turn it in right away, first of all. If there is a safety issue, then you need to go to a friend or family member and have them turn it in with you. If you don't have that, cops are going to do whatever they want. You have to record it, but without a friend or family member, it doesn't matter if you record it. They can record, or they can destroy your recordings. They can destroy your evidence. There's a bunch of stuff that they never gave back, but I can't get it back either because they didn't write it down on my property. So they just pretend that it doesn't exist. That's the police, of course. Mandatory reporters will say that it's not their paid job. We're just going to focus on our paid job. Well, you're paid to be a mandatory reporter. By law, it doesn't matter what your paid job is. If you're a mandatory reporter, you have to drop what you're doing right away, turn it in, and make a written report within 24 hours. Now, when it comes to the victim calling 911, they are allowed to leave the situation and try to find a safe location to make that phone call. And I did that more than once. And then they pretended that because I left the situation, which is something that I'm told to do, why didn't you leave? I did. I left and I called you from elsewhere. But it's frequent and ongoing. And what do these police officers and other mandatory reporters want to say? They want to blame me or send me around in circles to mental health places. They want to tell these mental health places that I'm schizophrenic and delusional and don't listen to me, basically. Another thing that mandatory reporters will do if they don't want to do their jobs. Now, keep in mind, there is a statute of limitations, not just on the evidence, but also on your amount of time to turn it in and have charges pressed. No, you do not have to turn it in right away, especially if there are safety issues. Another thing that these operators are supposed to pay attention to is that it may be unsafe for them to read back your number to you. And when you let them know that, if they proceed, they are breaking the law. They are intentionally putting your life at risk. That includes just something as simple as reading your phone number back to you, because you might have to record it and post it publicly. Or your predator might be right there and you don't want your predator to have your phone number. There are a great many reasons for that. And of course, Leslie Snell, she was angry. Scott DaCosta stated very specifically that she was angry because she had been recorded in her official duties, where instead of doing her official duties, I was sent to uh, Dual County Sheriff's Department to try to turn in the abuse by the Dual County Sheriff's Department, and specifically by Sheriff Scott DaCosta. Now, it turned out that the wife of one of my predators worked for Scott DaCosta, started working for him after I started trying to turn him in, and instead of doing what it is that she was supposed to, well, what did she do? She was recorded, she was angry, and of course, she wanted to play victim. And Scott DaCosta told her outright, you know, you can't actually do something about him recording you in your official duties. The thing is that when I had to try to turn that into her, instead of taking it seriously, she wanted to bully me and pretend that Scott DaCosta could never do no wrong. Now, mind you, this is a woman whose husband had been implicated by his own brother in the death threats against me. And I did try to turn it in, and I also tried to get a friend or family member to turn it in with me. Of course, I don't have any real friends. I have people who pretended to be my friends because I was good to everybody. I helped out everybody. That's what I did with my life. I protected others, whether that be from the weather or from other human beings getting violent with them. So mandatory reporters will pretend that you have to turn it in right away. Not if there's a safety issue. Another thing they'll pretend is that, well, they'll refuse to look at video evidence or hear your story. And then after refusing to look at the evidence, they'll say, oh, well, I didn't turn it in because I didn't see it. I don't have to turn it in unless I saw it. And that is absolutely not the case. If a 9-year-old girl comes up to you and tells you that she was just beaten up by her daddy, you need to take it seriously. If a 60-year-old in a nursing home says, I was raped by the nursing staff, you need to take it seriously. And if a disabled person on the streets is being assaulted, you need to take it seriously. And they don't. So mandatory reporters will lie to you. They'll say things like, oh, well, we can't do anything about it. It's old. Even if it's only an hour old. When they refuse to look at the recordings and then say, I don't have to turn it in because I didn't see it, they are breaking the law. It is a credible accusation, which means that either A, they are going to do their job, or B, they're going to break the law. If they break the law, they only have one choice. That's to pretend that you're delusional despite all of the evidence to the contrary. To call you mentally ill over and over and over again until they can find some idiot dumb enough to write it down. And lo and behold, 5 psychological evaluations they wrote down over and over again that the Natalie Bollinger situation and the abuse over it are not delusions. They also wrote down very specifically that I am not schizophrenic or delusional. Now, that's 5 of them just from the 15 months that I was in jail. That doesn't count the ones that I had prior, where they also state very loud and proud that I am neither schizophrenic nor delusional. Yeah, mandatory reporters have a lot of dirty little tricks that they will use because they don't want to do their jobs. They will try to pawn you off on somebody else. Oh, it's not our job. Let me make some calls and I'll get back to you. Yeah, that one's real popular. I'll get back to you tomorrow. That's what Sean said. Sean Hubert at CARE said he would get back to me the next day, and he didn't. And I'm having to wait until Monday. And I'm having to be afraid that these terrorists are going to terrorize me more. I stay in my tent. I was planning on going out and getting something to drink, or at least some cream or some milk to put in my coffee. But I have to be afraid that if I go out, I will be harmed. The police and CARE know that I'm trying to turn them in, and they've repeatedly abused their power to have me incarcerated over and over again. Meanwhile, none of my friends watch this channel. I don't really have any friends. But my predators sure as hell do, and they go through every video and try to find little bits and pieces they can use to try to terrorize me some more and make their little Sean Schwartz hate videos. And meanwhile, I get treated like these are delusions. This is not okay. They need to take it seriously. I'm doing all of the fucking work here, and they're going out of their way to make sure that justice is not served. When it comes to my rights as a disabled person, oh, magically I'm not disabled to these people. But then when they want to deny me my rights as a human being, they call me mentally ill. Make up your fucking mind, cheese dick. So they'll try to defer you, deflect, push you on to someone else, bully you, threaten, harass, or intimidate you, including threatening to call the police because they are being threatening towards you. This is not okay. That's victim blaming and victim shaming and abusing your position of power. I don't care if that officer is your best fucking friend. If he assaults a disabled person in front of you and you don't do your job as a mandated fucking reporter, you deserve... Well, we should probably get into that later. Some of the potential consequences for systemic abuse. Yes, I believe that these people should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Absolutely. But you might be surprised to find what some of the penalties in the law are. Anyway, I'm going to try to download this video. Obviously, I've been going through the evidence, doing my best to basically scrounge up what I can. I do this frequently and often. Whenever they're going to pretend that somebody's going to help me, whether it be these guys here or Claire Jordan or TFCC or Tides of Change, I've been to all of them. And before going to all of them, I have to prepare this stuff. And then I go in and they all talk over me. And the thing is that Claire Jordan is really the only person who is capable of assisting me in the friend or family member fashion, and she's just simply not going to. It's been years. Okay, she was gonna in 2023, and she hasn't yet. So she's not gonna. At least we have her words. She's not gonna call these places with me. It's obvious that, like the situation with Shelley. Claire was going to be a part of that call to help to keep me safe, but she didn't make it, and she doesn't make it to any of them. And, whatever her reason or excuse is arbitrary. The fact is that she isn't following through, and nobody else is. So I have to ask basically random strangers or people who see the abuse, like, hey, could you help me to turn this in? Oh, I just want to mind my own business,
It really sucks that happened to you, man. I mean, like, you really didn't deserve it. You were just walking across the street and the guy ran you down. But, I mean, like, really, I don't want to get targeted. I don't want to be fucking having to talk to the police. Snitches get stitches.
Fuck you. See, this is the problem with cowards. Mandatory reporters are all cowards. All of them. I've been hoping one of these cowards would prove me otherwise, but they haven't. They refuse to do their jobs because they don't want to lose their job. Part of their job is being a mandatory reporter. And they need to stop pawning me off on people who aren't mandatory reporters, which is, again, one of their tactics. Oh, it's not our job, it's their job. It's their job. Oh, well, we don't have to do anything about it because we're not going to look at the evidence. Oh, it's not our job to investigate. It's not our job to investigate. It's not our job to investigate. That's right. It's not your job to investigate. It's your job to initiate the investigation. Make the call and tell these people that it is happening. I'm not asking you to investigate. I'm asking you to call these people and tell them that my life is at fucking in risk. That my life is at risk. That's what I'm asking you to do as a mandatory reporter. It isn't just one assault, it is many assaults. Right now, the situation with the Bollingers and their extended friends and family, because they continue to do these things, yes, I can still get a protection order against them. And I am trying so hard, but I have no help and no assistance. The police did everything that they could to prevent me from being able to face my accusers or turn in my abusers. And they tend to be the same people. Like Andrew Wolnez, Alicia Bollinger, Ted Bollinger, Tim Beeson. Shall we go on? We can. Yeah, I'll drop your name. I don't care if you want to call me a snitch. I don't care if you want to tell me snitches get stitches. Don't touch little kids. Don't abuse the elderly. And do not target the homeless or the fucking disabled. These mandatory reporters, when I tell them that I've already been to every place in Tillamook, and I need them to listen to what happened at those places because they are situations of abuse. Neglect of a vulnerable adult is abuse. And it's not just neglecting to feed them, as the people in the jail try to pretend. Oh, we're not neglecting you, we feed you. That's not okay.